Hello, everyone. Today is November 1st, 2023. This is the Kubernetes Data Protection Working Group meeting. I guess today we just want to think up on this CBT status. So Ivan, Carl, Prasad, you want to talk about it? What is the status for this?
Hi, Xing. I don't see very much change. I sent mail out to James and did not get a response. That's on the CSI side. On the KEP side, the spec has been updated to reflect all the changes requested by the committee, including splitting out a separate gRPC API for Kubernetes, different from the CSI spec. I think that was Ben's last request in a previous meeting. So the KEP side is pretty much up to date and done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ben, when you get a chance.
What was the thing that was separated out? I'm sorry.
Ben, you had asked that we use a different gRPC and not use this, use the CSI gRPC for the Kubernetes side. So I made that change.
Excellent. So that's in the KEP now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I want to review the KEP. I haven't had time. If this meeting ends early, I can use the time to review the KEP.
Yeah. Okay.
That might be a good use of this hour. Just on the, if we're not getting responses from James, have we considered what it would take to change the API to sort of give him what he suggested that he wanted, which was not to use repeated gRPC or protobuf messages, just as a, as a point of comparison, like.
We're engineers. We can make it happen. I mean, that's not an issue. Point is, in the.
What I don't know is he going to hold fast on that point? And is it like,
I don't know whether he was saying his comment was an objection, right? It was more of a question, So I think we responded reasonably well on that. And so I think this one, Shin, is my response first. I think then we had a discussion in the working group and I added the summary of what we discussed in the next comment. So it's very hard to determine whether it's an objection or it's a thought, right?
Well, I mean, I can kind of imagine what he's thinking because I think I have the same feeling, not being a gRPC or protobuf expert and not understanding what the implications are. It feels safer to stay with what we know rather than try something new.
Well,
because
so Prasad and Ivan did a bunch of experimentation with gRPC streams, and Ivan, Prasad, you'll want to summarize what you found out?
Yeah, I think we discussed in the last meeting.
Okay.
We mostly experimented around the interrupts, if the errors are getting propagated correctly. Yeah, I think we discussed already.
Oh, okay. That was with respect to end of file more than anything else. Okay, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I think we all grasp that the end of file as a signaling mechanism has value.
Yeah.
But with regard to using repeated messages rather than, streaming messages rather than repeated messages, I'm still fuzzy on, like, if there was a good reason not to use streaming messages and we had to use repeated messages, like how much of a step backwards would that be from this proposal? But that question.
Okay, I mean the current API has a starting offset, right? We could just say you send back the starting offset. I think the current API would work that way too. Obviously, we'd have to change the signature to not say stream, right? And so that's not a very big thing to do. The biggest difference would come in implementation, because implementation-wise, the SP would have to recover state each call and seek forward to the point where where the last call left off. So that's the difference.
So
Okay,
with implementation, how easy it is for the SP to implement is one factor. I'm also more concerned about the performance side. I thought maybe some performance advantage using
Yes,
the
there definitely is a performance. You're making a lot of calls, a lot of additional calls, right? And you're also going to incur a lot more CPU load on the SP side because it's going to have to repeat its calls each time. So yeah, there's overall performance impact on this stuff.
Well, doesn't the performance impact depend on how much work the SP does to sort of hide the difference in style? Because I mean, like in my mind, if you didn't have the streaming interface, you would, and the back end, the underlying implementation did have something like a streaming interface. You would basically have to build like an adapter at the SP layer that would sort of hold on to that stream between invocations of the gRPC and be able to pull bits of it out each time, or maybe even have a spool in memory that spools the streaming response and then unspools it out to the gRPC interface. And like, yeah, you have to write code. Like if you wrote all that code, I think the performance impact should be negligible if you have sophisticated enough implementation. Obviously, a naive implementation would have negative performance impact. But
true. You're doing caching. The problem also comes down to understanding who your client is. The client, in the case of the SP, is the sidecar. The sidecar has no idea what's upstream. So basically, you're saying you're pushing all the understanding of this pagination into the sidecar, and the sidecar complexity then goes up because it has multiple clients. It will have to know on a per client basis, right, where that client left off and whether or not it can continue as something. So yeah, all told, it's complicated.
Yeah, I think like Carl has many good points there. I think like in all fairness, right, just between Carl and myself and Prasad, we did have like discussion around like is this maybe one of the, because now that we separated the sidecar gRPC and the SP Unix socket gRPC, it might be easier to discuss around to have that conversation separately, right? Like we did have a discussion around like, okay, maybe is this one, the question we had was, is this one of the area where potentially this it might differ, right, between the sidecar gRPC and the Unix socket gRPC. So I think like but like Carl, like they bring up many good points around like, as he just mentioned, like there are reasons why we want to go streaming on the Unix socket side. But ultimately though, like Ben, as you pointed out, like if this is one of the area where like the CSI spec maintainer said, no, this is too premature. We just want like someone to say no, we don't want to do this now. Then fine, we can go back and revise it. Versus like because right now, like as Carl said, like we don't know if this is this a recommendation, is this mandatory, or is this just a question?
Right. So and I don't know, and we don't have James's full attention, and so I was just hypothesizing like what could we do to make this easier for James. Maybe the answer is just get him to answer that question you just asked. Is this a recommendation? Is this a question? Is this a hard stance? And once we have that answer, we would know what to do.
Yeah, but I'm under the impression that like right now that we separated the two specs, right now this PR that we are looking at focuses only on the SP Unix socket side of the things, right? So and then on the sidecar side, under the impression that we probably have more flexibility to change things out on the sidecar side of things if we choose to, even after the spec and the cap has merged. So yeah, I think like maybe like we just have to like get him to, hey, tell us, is this a question or is this a no? I absolutely don't want you guys to go down that route, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and if I had to mind read and guess, I think the question he's really asking is like, if we can't do streaming messages, like how much does it really cost us, right? Because then we know what's at stake. If the answer is not very much, then I think he would say, well, then don't do the streaming message, just do a repeated message because it's lower risk and it doesn't cost us much. But if the answer is it actually is going to have the following downsides, like then that's a reason to say, okay, let's get ourselves comfortable with the streaming approach. So that's how I'm thinking about it.
I'm seeing it more that he's wondering about whether it's premature optimization, right? I mean, that's what his question at face value was about. And, you know, if I take it at face value, I think we responded. So I don't want to double guess his intentions. So,
I don't like mind reading. I'm just trying to help.
Yeah. So if anyone, you know, who works with him, right, could reach out to him, it'll be good. But I've tried and I haven't got any feedback.
Yeah, Saad probably has the closest connection to him, and then I think I probably have. I mean, you have the email address and the Slack handle, right?
Yeah, you're CC'd on that.
Yeah.
I mean, for what it's worth, I don't know how much this is going to influence the conversation, but I can ping him. I chatted with him very early on about this entire cap. Back then, he was pretty responsive to, you know, where this cap and this spec was going. I can try ping him later. If not, then yeah, we might have to go through Sart or other folks. So
yeah, I don't have any other ideas.
Yeah, I think sounds good. Yeah, maybe Ivan, you try and see if you can get his attention.
okay.
If not responding, then maybe maybe then we need to ask Saad to ping him directly or something. I'm not sure what else we can do.
Yeah. But otherwise, I think, Carl, I think this is the last pending item, right? I think we resolved everything else.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so let's do that. So yeah, Ben, if we wrap up early here, if you can take a look at the cap, that would help move things forward.
Yeah, I'm happy to spend the next 40 minutes delving into the cap.
All right. I guess maybe that's actually more important, right? What
I've got the time blocked out.
We need to get the cap moving forward, right? This one we know we just need to get in touch with James. But the cap we haven't really been reviewing the latest version yet. Yeah. So all right, if there's nothing else, maybe we should I guess is the looks like there's some question here.
Hi, he's Andre from
hi.
Can I talk a little bit?
Oh yeah, of course.
I part right now for KubeVirt, that is VM virtualization on top of Kubernetes, and we are having some issues to use pure KubeVirt Kubernetes because the Rook Ceph solution for the duplication and copy on write is on alpha stage. To have a workaround on top of that, we are using, as you saw in my links, a solution called LeanStore that is able to not only do the duplication, but also be able to use RAM as a RAM disk shared across several hosts. And why we are talking here? Because we talk with the Kubernetes people and they point to us that this is the right place to talk about how to have Rook and Ceph combination working with the duplication. Who is working on that? And also another feature that we must have, that is copy on write, like the VMware instant clone has, okay? The LeanStore works perfectly for us, has all the features we need, but it's a proprietary solution and we pay for it. And
you pay for what? I'm sorry, didn't get it. But you pay for which one? I'm sorry.
We are using, instead of Rook and Ceph for our storage on Kubernetes, we are using LeanStore.
Yeah.
And we want to use Rook and Ceph.
Okay.
But it doesn't have the features we need, like the duplication and copy on write, because these features are on alpha stage. We would like to talk to the persons that are in charge of that to move that as soon as possible. Okay.
So
Yeah, so
this, yeah, go ahead, Ben.
I was going to say that details like copy on write are sort of below the CSI interface. Those are implemented on a vendor by vendor basis, and they're sort of invisible to CSI and the data protection layers. Like I think features like volume cloning, features like snapshotting sort of assume, or what's the right way to put this? They make it possible to take advantage of implementations that do copy on write, but they don't require it. So it's a vendor by vendor decision of how to implement that and whether to implement that. And I don't know if anyone here has specific knowledge of what Ceph does or how they do it, or whether it's alpha or supported. That'd be a different group of people you'd want to talk to about Ceph's shortcomings in particular. The other, sorry, so there was the copy on write, and then you had questions about replication.
Deduplication.
Deduplication.
Okay.
Is that correct? Yeah,
Yes.
That's another feature that would be transparent to the CSI layer, and it's basically a storage efficiency feature that's some implementations have and some don't, and CSI doesn't really care whether a solution can do that or not. So this is probably not the right group to ask for help with those particular issues, because they're lower level than what we're tackling here.
Mm-hmm.
Have you talked to Rook community, because they
Yes,
still have
but
community
nobody
meeting?
is working on the duplication there.
You said they have a feature that is alpha, right?
It's alpha stage several years ago. Nobody else is working anymore on that.
Yeah. So that's like a Rook specific feature, right?
Yes.
Yeah, as Ben was saying, we are at a higher layer normally working on.
Yes, that's why I
Yeah.
was asking you guys how to navigate to find the right people.
Maybe if you
Yeah.
are, I don't know if you are interested in helping out. I don't know if you guys
Yes,
help
we
them
can,
move their feature to beta or something, right? That
we can support with some money or development cash, but other than that, we are not so, let's say, hard developer.
Mhm.
Okay, we use Kubernetes and Kubevert. We don't develop itself. That's why we are looking for someone or who can hire to fix this. Okay.
Yeah, so I think unfortunately this is more storage specific, more at
Yes.
lower layers. Ben was saying, I think Rook that that community is still the right place, and then just to see
Yeah.
who are interested in working on that, and maybe you can support in other ways.
Yeah, so sorry, Andre. Like I don't think there are any like Rook or Ceph maintainers on this call, or even people with those kind of implementation knowledge. Are you going to be at KubeCon? Like maybe the folks from that team might be there. Maybe like reach out to them there. I don't think like the Kubernetes Slack has a specific Rook or Ceph channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have to poke around in their GitHub repo.
I'm trying to find someone to help.
Yeah, well, there was one comment on the CAP from Niels DeVos, that Nick's Panic, I think is his handle. I think he's a Ceph maintainer. So at least that's some starting point you can contact.
At least if you give me his email or how I contact him.
Well, I mean, it's on the CAP. It's a comment.
Yeah, if you look at it, if you go to this link, you will find his name. Oh yeah, that's his.
Yeah.
That's his name.
Yeah.
But we don't really know his email, and it's just Git.
Don't worry. Can you send me the link?
Okay, yeah, just the link of this enhancement. It's on. Do you have access to this agenda?
Yes, I have it.
Yeah.
It's it's here. I find.
Yeah. You click on this one,
You was
And
too
you will
fast.
see the first one, right?
I was
Nick
not seeing
Panic.
you clicking on it.
Oh, okay. Okay, do you get it?
Just 1 second. And Nick Panic. Okay.
That's his GitHub handle. I also put it in here.
Wonderful.
Then maybe you can
Follow up with him. Yeah.
find him and
Wonderful.
Yeah, Andre,
he
we've
actually
met
has an
with,
email. Louis, this is his email address, right? Yeah, see. It might
yeah,
be
that's his personal email address.
Yeah.
Andre, we've met with Niels. He's a very nice guy, but of course he's working for IBM and Red Hat. And if you're a Red Hat or an IBM customer, then you can more directly try to interact directly, because again, this is ultimately a commercial software vendor enhancement request. So those are some of the dimensions of how to get things done, or to actually try to escalate things. That's just my advice to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
I
try
think
it.
all the money going into Ceph is coming from IBM, so being an IBM customer probably helps a lot to affecting their roadmap.
Even when we work with the Red Hat folks and talk about Ceph, they refer us over to the IBM team, because that's where a lot of the Red Hat folks are now, have been moved to IBM.
Mhm.
partner,
On my link, I don't see his email.
if you you go here, go to his you click on the GitHub one. He has his email listed here. You see? Did you see here?
No, for me doesn't appear that.
Oh?
Let me see.
Okay, I'll put this in the chat. You can.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay.
He should be on
You see
the
it?
He should be in the Kubernetes Slack as well, under the same.
Yeah, let me see. I think I talked to him through Kubernetes Slack, but let me check. Yeah, he's NDVAS in the Kubernetes Slack.
Same nickname on Slack.
Yes, I'm putting it in the chat.
Oh, and Devos. Wonderful. With that, I can find him. Thank you so much, guys. At least it's the direction. Okay.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Thank you so much, everybody.
You're welcome.
Okay. Is there anything else? Okay, if not, then that's it for today. Oh, next week will be KubeCon. Who will be there?
I'll be there. Dave Smith-Lucito will be there. And Pavan, who's an engineering leader, coordinating closely with Carl and Prasad, will be there.
Okay.
I can't make it this time.
Okay. All right. Okay. To see you there then, whoever is there. But otherwise, we'll meet again in the next data protection group meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
All right.